Here are the top 10 reasons why people fail their driving tests. If you have a test planned, try to avoid these common mistakes. The first most common driving test fault is not making effective observations at junctions. These faults include failing to judge the speed of an approaching vehicle, entering a roundabout with a vehicle approaching from the right, making no effective observations when emerging from a junction, making no observations when joining a dual carriageway from a slip road, going straight ahead at crossroads with no observations, looking too late when emerging at a junction, and not looking left into the road you are turning into. During your driving test, you must always make effective observations before moving into a new road, and ensure that it is safe before proceeding. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a junctions observations fault. The second most common fault is not using mirrors correctly when changing direction. These faults include not using mirrors when exiting a roundabout, causing a vehicle to slow down when changing lanes on a dual carriageway by not checking mirrors first, and causing a potential collision by trying to change lane on a roundabout without checking mirrors first. During your driving test, you must make full and effective use of all the mirrors, check the mirrors carefully before signaling, changing direction, or changing speed, and use the mirror signal maneuver routine effective. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a mirrors fault. The third most common fault is not having proper control of the steering. These faults include repeatedly not steering enough or steering late on the approach to junctions when turning left, not steering enough when going around a bend, steering late when turning right into a minor road, repeatedly mounting the pavement when pulling up on the left, and steering late when moving out to pass parked vehicles. During your driving test, you must steer smoothly and time your steering appropriately. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a control steering fault. The fourth most common fault is incorrect positioning when turning right at junctions. These faults include positioning in the left-hand lane when turning right at a roundabout, obstructing traffic when you wait to turn right, and when you want to turn right at the end of the road, you incorrectly position to the left. During your driving test, you must be able to position the car as close to the center of the road as is safe. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a junctions turning right fault. The fifth most common fault is not moving off safely. These faults include moving off from behind a parked vehicle into the path of an approaching vehicle, repeatedly moving off from the side of the road with no blind spot checks, pulling off from the right-hand side of the road, causing an oncoming vehicle to slow or stop, and not making any rear observations when moving off following an emergency stop. During your driving test, you must be able to move off safely while making the correct observations, from the side of the road, on a slope or hill, and from behind a parked vehicle where you have to move off at an angle. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a moving off safety fault. The sixth most common fault is not responding appropriately to traffic lights. These faults include failing to react to a red traffic light, stopping after the first white line when there are advanced stop lines for cyclists, not progressing when you're waiting to turn right at a junction and it's safe to proceed, not going ahead when a green light is showing and the junction ahead is clear, and going ahead when a green light is showing but the junction is not clear. During your driving test, you must act correctly at traffic lights, and check the road is clear before you proceed when the green light shows. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a response to signs, traffic lights fault. The seventh most common fault is poor positioning on the road during normal driving. These faults include repeatedly driving too close to the curb or center of the road, unnecessarily driving in the right-hand lane of a dual carriageway, and cutting across the normal road position when you go ahead at a roundabout with no lane markings. During your driving test, you must position the car correctly for your intended route, Position the car in the middle of marked lanes, and only change lanes when necessary. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a positioning, normal driving fault. The eighth most common fault is not responding correctly to traffic signs. These faults include going to the wrong side of a keep left sign, ignoring a stop or no entry sign, driving in a bus lane, choosing the wrong lane at a roundabout with clear signage, and acting late or not at all to speed limit changes. During your driving test, you must be able to react to all traffic signs. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a response to signals, traffic signs fault. The ninth most common fault is not having control of the vehicle when moving off. These faults include stalling and rolling back when trying to move off, repeatedly stalling when moving off, stalling repeatedly when moving off on one occasion, and trying to move off without selecting a gear and then rolling back. During your driving test, you must be able to move off under control at a junction, from behind a parked car, and on a slope or hill. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a move-off, control fault. Lastly, the 10th most common fault is not keeping control of the vehicle during reverse parking. These faults include wheels ending up on the pavement at the end of a parallel park, too many attempts to reposition when parking, losing control of the car when parking in a bay, and ending up parking outside of the bay. During your driving test, you must be able to control the car accurately when you parallel park at the side of the road, and reverse into a bay. Mistakes in this category will be marked as a reverse park, control fault. To summarize, the 10 most common reasons why people fail their driving tests are: not making effective observations at junctions, not using mirrors correctly when changing direction, not having proper control of the steering, incorrect positioning when turning right at junctions, not moving off safely, not responding appropriately to traffic lights, poor positioning on the road during normal driving, not responding correctly to traffic signs, not having control of the vehicle when moving off, and not keeping control of the vehicle during reverse parking. Thank you for watching. If you have a driving test planned, try to avoid these common mistakes. Let us know how you get on in the comment section. And good luck! Please like this video and share it with your friends. At Club Drive we have many more videos to help you with your driver training. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.